up on Vegas Nation Game Day, we get you ready for Week 2.
You know, the Pittsburgh Steelers, that's our main focus right now, and we're really excited.
The Raiders are banged up, but hope the team can pull together to get the win on the road.
This week is a whole different set of issues that come up on a short week, so that's a challenge in itself.
More fast takes and smart coverage coming up on Vegas Nation Game Day.
Powered by the Las Vegas Review-Journal, this is Vegas Nation Game Day. Presented by D&R House of Diamonds, making luxury affordable. Located in the One Summerlin building in downtown Summerlin.
Welcome into Vegas Nation Game Day. Cassie Soto here with you. The Raiders are 1-0 heading into Pittsburgh as they look for their first road win of the season. Our opening drive is brought to you by Capriotti's. There's no better time than game time to score party favorites. Order online to get Capriotti's party trays, boxed lunches, or large subs for the whole crew. Raiders beat writer Vinny Bonsignore here with me. Vinny, the Raiders have lost defensive tackle Gerald McCoy and guard Denzel Good to season-ending injuries and have brought in defensive tackle Damian Square and guard Jordan Simmons. We saw both of them at practice for the first time on Thursday. How quickly do you see them adapting to this team?
Well, it's a rapidly moving, fast NFL, so as quickly as possible. But I think that the answers for those injuries are players that are already on the roster. Let's start with the offensive line first. Richie Incognito did not practice on Thursday, did not practice on Wednesday. His status for Sunday is up in the air, so if he can't go, then Denzel Good's spot is going to be taken by Jermaine Illuminor, who played on Monday, played reasonably well, and John Simpson will stay at left guard in replace of Incognito. What happens, though, is that depth gets really, really tapped into, and you'll see if Simpson's going to be able to play on Sunday as a reserve, or if they keep Nick Martin, who's also a backup center but hasn't guarded in his history, if he turns out to be that swing guard. So a lot of moving parts along the offensive line on the interior of the offensive line. Gerald McCoy played 8 snaps on Monday. His role was expanding and was going to expand as the season went on, but obviously he's gone for the season. So that makes Cleve Farrell all the more important. He didn't dress out on Monday. I expect that he's going to play. He's been practicing this week. The back issues look to be behind him. And then they're going to have to figure it out. Solomon Thomas, Darius Philon, Jonathan Hankins, Quentin Jefferson, all 4 of those defensive linemen are going to have to probably step up a little bit more. Cleve Farrell can move from outside to inside, but the question becomes is Yannick Ngakoue going to be able to play? If he can't go, obviously Cleve Farrell is going to get the most snaps at defensive end, along with Carl Nassib and Max Crosby, but the interior becomes the 4 players that we just mentioned.
Oh, Vinny, you mentioned Max Crosby, and this guy was named the AFC Defensive Player of the Week for Week 1, and I just want to take a second to highlight him and his efforts on Monday night. How much improvement have you seen in Crosby already?
Well, let's put it this way. The game that Max Crosby had on Monday, he didn't have anything close to that during last season, and that's just keeping it honest. He didn't have a good season last year, whether it was injuries that we knew that he was dealing with after the season, whether it was adjustments that offenses made to him coming off a rookie season that he didn't adjust well to in his sophomore season. Whatever the case, he didn't have a good year last year. But he came in determined this year, and it goes all the way back to the offseason when he lived here at the team facility, working out, doing everything he needed to do to get this thing back on track. And the game that he played on Monday was a Pro Bowl caliber performance. If he can continue to play that way, you're talking literally about a Pro Bowler. He's a changed player in a much improved player, and if he can keep that up, it changes the entire dynamic on their defensive line.
Going off of that, Vinny, and I might know your answer to this next question, what will be the key to the game for the Raiders to leave Pittsburgh 2-0?
Well, you'd like to say that they got to go in there and run the game. They didn't run the ball very well against the Ravens, but with that banged-up offensive line, Josh Jacobs dealing with the toe injury, I'm not sure they're going to be able to manufacture an effective run game. But what they have to do is stick with it, because they can't get out of whack. They can't ask Derek Carr to drop back 59 times again. Defensively, if they do what they did on Monday against the Ravens, I think they're going to be in a pretty good position. Big Ben is a great quarterback, but he's not Lamar Jackson in terms of the athlete. So if they could get the kind of pressure that they got on Lamar Jackson, I think you'll see them take Big Ben down more times than 3 and make life difficult for him. There's a path to victory here for the Raiders, but it's going to be difficult on a short week where they are physically. It's going to be a tough road for the Raiders to hope.
Flip the Field, brought to you by Pirate Plumbing, the masters of disasters. What's up, everybody? It's Heidi Fang here, and I'm joined with our Review Journal sports columnist, Ed Graney. Right now, it's time to take a look at the opposition the Raiders have ahead here in the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ed, first of all, I want to start with the quarterback. Ben Roethlisberger brings a completely different look to the game than what the Raiders saw in Week 1 as they took on Lamar Jackson. So what do you make of the differences here, and how do the Raiders attack that?
One's a Porsche and one's a Jeep Cherokee. I don't need to tell you which one, but I'll tell you one thing about Ben Roethlisberger, Heidi. 2 Super Bowls, 7 Pro Bowls. The guy's still going strong, 5 months short of 40 years old. And here's the thing about the game this week at Heinz Field. Only the Patriots and Vikings have better winning percentages of their current stadiums than the Steelers. It's really hard to go into Pittsburgh and win. Roethlisberger, first ballot Hall of Famer. The Steelers are 16-4 in their first home game of a season since 2001, and he arrived in 2004. So he has a lot to do with that record. It's going to be really hard to go in there and beat him, Heidi. But if the Raiders come in at 1-0 and play as they did last week against Lamar Jackson and kind of try to control whatever quarterback they're playing against, they'll have a fighter's chance.
Speaking of fighting, the Raiders are going to face one of the tougher defenses in the NFL against the Pittsburgh Steelers, Ed. So what do you make of how the offense might prepare for that tough defense?
Well, here's the thing. Raiders offensive line, we know there's a lot of injuries right now, a lot of young guys. That might be tough. It's not just TJ Watt. It's Cameron Hayward, Tyson Alulu, Chris Wormley. Those guys are really good up front, Heidi, and the Raiders are going to have to stand tall and be tough if they're going to stop that rush and keep Derek Carr upright. Little number for you. Last week, Derek Carr was only pressured about 33% of the time. People might be surprised at that, given how young and inexperienced and injured the offensive line was for the Raiders. They need another effort like that this week against TJ Watt and company, or they're going to be on their backs a lot.
Wonderful insight as always, Ed. Thank you.
There's plenty to take away from the Raiders' 33-27 victory Monday night over the Baltimore Ravens at Allegiant Stadium. But that win wouldn't have happened without their new and improved pass rush. Plain and simple. The Raiders on Monday sacked Lamar Jackson 3 times and forced 2 turnovers, both of which led directly to touchdowns, including the game winner in overtime. They didn't have a 3-sack game last season until Week 5 against the Kansas City Chiefs, and they only reached that mark 3 times last year, never finishing a game with more than 3 sacks. But it wasn't just the sacks that affected Jackson, it was the constant barrage of pressure. The Raiders pressured the former MVP on 54.5% of his dropbacks on Monday, according to the NFL's Next Gen Stats. That despite blitzing a mere 3 times, according to Pro Football Reference. Now, Las Vegas shifts his focus to the Pittsburgh Steelers and veteran quarterback Ben Roethlisberger, who is among the quickest decision makers in the NFL. He held the ball on average for 2.1 seconds per dropback last year per Pro Football Reference. No quarterback got the ball out quicker. Roethlisberger equaled that mark on Sunday during a 23-16 road victory over the Buffalo Bills. Expect Roethlisberger and the Steelers to dial up their short passing game again against the Raiders because, as we saw Monday, that front four is coming. I'm Sam Gordon, and those are the numbers.
DNR House of Diamonds is Las Vegas's elite private office jeweler, the perfect bridge between internet pricing and a traditional brick-and-mortar jewelry store. We specialize in loose diamonds, natural and lab-grown, engagement rings, fashion jewelry, custom design, and jewelry repairs. We operate by appointment in our beautiful offices in the One Summerlin building, downtown Summerlin. Our great relationships with the world's largest diamond wholesalers and our low overhead saves you hundreds, if not thousands, on your purchase.
Vegas Nation Injury Brief, sponsored by Not the Injury Law.
Obviously, losing Gerald is huge, and we've talked a ton since the game, and it broke my heart. That dude has done so much work to get back, and to see him go out like that is horrible and unfortunate. But he's still going to be a part of this group no matter what. So it sucks, but yeah, obviously Denzel as well. The dude's been working his tail off.
That was Raiders defensive end Max Crosby talking about how much of a loss it is for the team to lose both defensive tackle Gerald McCoy and guard Denzel Good. For a more in-depth look at the Raiders injury brief, here's NFL writer Adam Hill.
Well, thanks, Cassie. Yeah, injury's the big story around the team facility this week. 18 players listed on the injury report, many of them in pretty bad shape heading in to this Week 2 game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's start at the top. Running back Josh Jacobs did not practice all week. There wasn't a whole lot of concern because he said he's going to skip a bunch of practices this year to save some of the wear and tear on his body. But when he's not on the field Friday, growing speculation, and then of course John Gruden made the decision and made the announcement to the media that Josh Jacobs will not play. That opens the door for Kenyon Drake, who was signed in the offseason, and a guy like Peyton Barber to step in and take on a more prominent role. Josh Jacobs not the only guy sitting out this week. Nick Kwiatkowski got a concussion in the opener against the Ravens. He will miss the game. Marcus Mariota was hurt on that long run that he had in the first quarter, re-aggravated the quad injury. He will also miss this game. Not a good situation with a lot of guys questionable coming into the game as well. Yannick Ngakoue is questionable. Looks like he's trending toward playing. That's what John Gruden said. But after that flight, you never know what's going to happen. A couple other guys as well in that questionable realm. But we'll find out when they take the field on Sunday. Looks like at least Ngakoue is trending in the right direction. But, of course, Josh Jacobs being out, that's the big story. With your injury brief, I'm Adam Hill. Back to you.
Vegas Nation Fan Zone, sponsored by your Southern Nevada Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Silver and Black fans showed up and showed out for the Raiders' Monday Night Football season opener at Allegiant Stadium. Kevin Cannon gives us a look at the party.
What up, Vegas Nation? We're here in the J lot just south of the stadium, right next to Polaris, and these Raider fans are really getting the hang of this tailgate thing. They're taking traditions from Los Angeles, from Oakland, bringing it all here, making new traditions here in Las Vegas.
Well, it's shot stick. It's 69 people long right now. We normally do it in Oakland. 1, 2, 3!
We found some really enthusiastic fans from Fresno, California. They've got flags. They're really into it. They're going inside. Come on! We were walking through the parking lot. We heard the autumn wind playing far in the distance. Can you play it for us now?
I can.
Thanks so much for watching Vegas Nation Game Day. I know it's an early wake-up call, but please join us for Vegas Nation Game Day live at 8:30 a.m. on Sunday as we get you ready for the Raiders-Steelers matchup. Until then, head on over to vegasnation.com for more Raiders fast takes and smart coverage. For our entire Vegas Nation crew, I'm Cassie Soto. Thank you so much for watching.
Vegas Nation Game Day, presented by DNR House of Diamonds, making luxury affordable. Located in a One Summerlin building in downtown Summerlin.